T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me, baby. That's what I wanna do. Come on and talk to me. Come on and talk to me, baby. Come on,
Come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your name.
Maybe this will help.
Maybe it will, brother. Maybe it will. You always look hella suspicious sometimes, man. Welcome, Negroes, Latinos, Caucanos,
Anglo-Saxons.
and my favorites, the Asians. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show, man. This is episode 25 of season 6 of Maybe This Will Help the podcast. Giving you that relationship talk you can relate to, the good, the bad, the alimony. Listen, we are here for 2 reasons: to have fun and to learn something. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. We spent a
Main
lot of
two.
time this week, yesterday, trying to go over what is the mission statement for this podcast. What are we here to do? We got all corporate, and we had to just take our slacks and ties off and say, "Hold on,
Yeah.
man. It's very simple."
It is. It is.
Talk to the people.
Yeah, so relationship talk you can relate to. We've been doing this for about 5 years. For those that don't know, it started off basically as behind the scenes barbershop talk. Basically, fellas, Saturday mornings, we get up, go to the barbershop. You got a lot of cats there that can impart some great wisdom, some great knowledge, and then just some like, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I've experienced. Have y'all experienced the same thing? What did you do in the situation that made it better? What did you do that made it worse? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the discussions that we have here on the show, in hopes that just maybe it'll help somebody. It definitely helps us. That's why we've been on air for 5+.
That's so good, man. Because
Yeah, man.
I'm going around right now. I have a book that just came out. I'm gonna get to that later on. But I'm talking to people about success and about the relationship between your sacrifices, experiencing something called success that actually feels like it was worth the sacrifice. That means you were satisfied by it.
Yeah.
But as we're doing this podcast and putting our mission statements together and trying to see how we can go to the next level and get people to buy into what we're doing, maybe get some sponsors and stuff like that and expand, how do you preserve your authenticity in the midst of all that? Because when we were having these business conversations yesterday, all these thoughts came to mind, like what is going to make people say, hey, I'll invest in this, I'll partner with you in this.
Right.
And that is that murky water. That's that blurry line that you have to be careful of when you're talking about expansion at the cost of your authenticity, because you want to look better for a partner in any regard, not just business, but even romantic relationships, bro.
Yeah.
Like how many of us, because we want to be married so bad, want to have kids, want to have a partnership, are willing to compromise certain areas of our authenticity that really are connected to our identity that shouldn't be on the table? But we bring them anyway, and we start altering them anyway, just so that somebody can pick us. In business or in romance, you gotta be careful about that. Certain things should be non-negotiable, and of course, other things I think it's good to be flexible.
It is, especially in romantic relationships. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and get
just one of them days. As we should, man.
Yeah, buddy.
My authenticity told me that because I needed a meal and I hadn't eaten yet. My authenticity said I can eat on air because it's my show.
For sure, as you should. I mean, it used to be the apple or the piece of fruit or the tuna. Just bring it back, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Bring it back.
I think people like you when you got a stomach full of food. Anyway, I think they like you more when you got some food in you, brother.
And when I got my special drink.
Oh shit! No.
And when it hits 10 o'clock.
No.
That, man, we realized, man, me and Mike realized that even if I'm not on a podcast, when 10 o'clock rolls around, a different side of my personality opens up. It's hilarious because I got called out twice, and it was 9:59. Another time it was like 10:13. Like, listen, who was that that turned into a pumpkin?
God, dog.
Listen,
that's man. You for sure. Best part of your week, brother. Let's start off with you today.
Jesus, Lord in heaven. Best part of my week. Last time that I checked.
Hey.
Golly, man. The best part of my week. So we pulled up on 4th of July. I did work this week. There were some birthdays this week. There's some family time this week. I'm going to pick one that I feel like is the nearest to my heart right now.
Yeah.
My nephew graduated college 3 years and is headed to law school in Boston. And me and him, you know, he's in town before he leaves, and me and him had lunch. 2.5 hour conversation. We already know what it is. We think similarly to each other, and he likes to have those deep conversations, and which is why he graduated with honors a year early, headed off to law school.
Sure.
We sit, and you met him before, man. We're going back and forth about just ideas, philosophies, and environments, and why authenticity, and why, you know, identity, and why people, and how do I make sure they are impressed with me or they see me the way I want them to see me. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be a challenge, and this is my fear. Bruh, it just felt so good. Sometimes, and Mike, I know you can relate to this. Sometimes when you're talking to a young man, the conversation can get so rich that you actually feel like you're talking to your younger self.
Oh, brother, tell me about it. Yeah, man.
That was a highlight of my week, man.
That's solid, bro. And shouts out to nephew, man, for doing big things and taking that step. You know, I know sometimes it's difficult to go to, you know, somewhere foreign, Boston, when you're used to being around family, around friends that can help you out at the drop of a dime if need be, and, you know, taking that step of faith, and not just, you know, regular school, law school, which is a lot more strenuous than a JC, or possibly a lot more strenuous than a Cal State. You know what I'm saying? Just as far as workload, as far as having to get that internship and, you know, study for the bar, and, you know, all of the things you got to do that go along with law school. So shouts out to him for even, you know what I mean, taking that step. That's dope.
Yeah, man, that's a dope kid, man. I'm happy to be able to partner with him. Sir, what was the best part of your week, man?
Man, listen, I was so happy I did not have to get on that grill yesterday. So usually, me and my wife, we have a annual for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years. We've had this annual second Juneteenth, which is what I like to call it now because I'm woke. The second Juneteenth celebration on July 4th. And this year we were like, you know what? We got some business ventures that we're trying to step out into. We got a lot of other stuff going on. Let's not even do it this year. Let's just invite a couple people through and, you know, do something super small, super intimate, and celebrate like that. And that's what we did. And it was great, full of laughter. My wife decided to do our Daniel karaoke, which turned into, I don't know what it turned into, brother, but I remember we looked up, it was 9, then we looked back up and it was 12 something.
12,
yeah. And it was a time was had. And you know what's so special to me, bro? I was in here during the day and I was cleaning out the man cave, and you've seen it. I had like a ton of like alcohol bottles on top of their fridge. So I was like, you know what? I don't drink anymore. So I'm gonna start getting rid of these. And then as we're, doing our thing last night and laughing and being loud and joking, I kind of paused for a minute, like, man, it's so funny that usually to have this type of experience, I would think that I would need alcohol. You know what I mean? Or usually I would think that, hey, man, I'll just get a drink, because that's what I do when we have, you know what I'm saying, our normal get together. So it was refreshing just to see everybody, partaking and just having a good time, man. So I think that was my highlight. It was needed when you left and when the night settled. It was like, yeah, man, that was good. That was good.
Now I know you're going to be opposed. I'm not going to say that. I'm gonna be optimistic. You may be opposed to this. You may not. But this post online said the era of no new friends is over. Bring in all the healthy, driven, supportive friends that you can find me.
Nah, I'm gonna stick to opposition. I'm the ops when it comes to new people. I'm good.
Oh man,
because it took me 43 years to find my people. You know what I mean? And I don't take that lightly. And I protect that to maybe even an unhealthy degree to where I'm like, no, you knew, I'm cool, because I've not to say I can't find new people who add value, because I'm sure I could, but I think the want is not there. I feel like, damn, these are my people. They're great. They add what they need to add to my life, and boom, why do I need extra? Everybody don't think that way. That may just be a me.
You got to do what works for you, man. I've been reading this book, and it was reminding me about the importance of just enough. Sometimes in life we move into the realm of extra because we think that more is better, but sometimes more is worse, because the more you have to manage. And if you don't have the capacity for more will be a curse, not a blessing.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying to you? And so I think that once you have what you need, learn how to be content with it and be grateful for it, and just steward it well, man. Steward it well. You know what I'm saying to you? And I think that's like, again, going back to this book I'm releasing, we're talking about success. I don't think many people have ever asked themselves, how much success do I need? They just want more and more and more. And that has been a poison in this ambitious mindset that a lot of us have. And I think we just got to keep an eye on it. So I'm happy that you know who you are.
Yeah.
And you're able to challenge yourself and say, right now, it's not a want. So I'm good. Did you press start, go live on Instagram over there?
Yes, sir. We good.
All right, we're gonna get into it tonight. Atronet80 said, and what you eating, it looks healthy. Salmon and sweet potatoes covered in honey, because it's going down. That's my dinner for tonight, man.
It's gonna be a show. Y'all don't even know. I'm nervous. And he got his drink. Oh Lord.
Don't worry about it. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, because I usually wait till later. But tonight, man, I wanted to talk about, the topic of the show is when to not break up. I wanted to talk about this topic because I believe in this culture that we live in. When I say this culture, LA specifically, maybe even Western, we have a tendency to have very short patience, low tolerance, and quick to just move on because we believe there's so many options. But I heard a wise person say not too long ago that it ain't really an option if it don't fill your need. So you may see a lot of things in front of you, but if they don't fill your need, they're really not viable options. When you find something that works for you, I want to talk tonight about how long do you work at it? How long do you try? How long do you, what's on the table for negotiation and compromise? And I thought it'd be a great conversation to have, because I know that you've been married before. And I know the conversation has come up for you of the greatest moment that we all face in relationships. Do you give up or you try harder? And I think that might even be for life in general, anything you're pursuing.
Sure.
So with your experience being married before, I've been privy to sit in front of a lot of people who wanted to vent to me about their relationships. Yeah. So I heard a lot. I mean, I've been married before, but I've heard a lot about marriage and engagement and boyfriend, girlfriend. I've heard people and their struggles. So I think it'd be a rich conversation tonight. We're not going to jump into it immediately, but it's on the menu. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, no, that's good. And it's so apropos today because I haven't had a chance to talk to you today. But as we're walking through the food festival, my ex-wife walks by. Ha! Crazy. Random. So crazy. So crazy. So this is a perfect topic for tonight.
Tuesday
Yeah,
is
man.
gonna be amazing, man.
Yeah.
Tuesday for
Yeah.
brother time is gonna be wild.
Yeah. It is. It is.
All right. Well, then let's get into this, man. I kind of want to ruffle some feathers from the jump. And when I talk about feathers, I'm talking about Mike's specifically. Because the rest of the conversation, I want him to be connected, present, and in deep thought. And there's no better way to get
Jesus.
Mike present than to put up something that I know he's very passionate about. So, ladies and
Alright.
gentlemen, we're gonna start this podcast just like this.
But I don't find this shit cute. I keep seeing it pop everywhere and like all these girls cheering for her and like, you did that, girl, you ate that, girl, you did that so good. There was a comment where it was like, you put Minneapolis on the map. Like, what? Like, you're proud to be twerking and basically throwing your ass at Chris Brown. Like, that's your accomplishment in life. Like, doing this shit for millions of people to see. Like, I'm sorry, I don't find that fucking cute at all. Like, and then, I'm not trying to be a woman hater or anything, but then you wonder why some men think that, like, women aren't shit. Because of shit like this. Like, this shit's not cute. It's not something to brag about.
Michael.
Full government.
Michael,
All
let's
right.
get into the conversation tonight, man.
All
How
right.
do you feel about this young woman's commentary on this video of this young lady at a Chris Brown concert, which
Yeah.
has turned into nothing more than a ratchet audition?
Yeah.
How do you feel about her commentary?
So first, let me say this. I feel like everybody is entitled to their opinion. And if she's on her platform, whether that was TikTok, IG, YouTube, whatever she was speaking on is her platform. She can say whatever it is that she wants to say. That being said, do I agree with it? And this is probably going to shock you. To an extent. I do agree with it. To an extent.
Ever since you cut your hair, man, you've been different. Ever since you cut your hair, you just I can't even figure you out no more, man.
Yeah, bro. Because
Every
listen,
time you open your mouth now, I'm like, what is
listen.
this
No,
pure
so-
shock?
Here's why. Because what if that young lady, she was an aspiring video
Twerker.
vixen, or she was trying to get in the next video, or she was a stripper or a female exotic dancer trying to be seen. Like, and what bigger platform than at a Chris Brown concert to try to be seen? You know what I mean? Now, listen, that's what, and that she probably like, what? Like, I knew what I was doing. I wore this on purpose to potentially get on that stage and show what I got, to try to get some type of whatever she was looking to get. That might have been a purposeful thing that nobody know about but that girl. You know what I'm saying? So the other side of the spectrum.
Nah, we can't pick that apart. You want to hear both sides first?
Let's pick it apart. Go ahead, brother.
And if this is where you're going, let me know. So you're saying that our personal approach to life is ours to own, and we should not take into consideration at all how it may impact culture and how people see our race, our sex, our gender, our demographic. Just that ain't on me.
Because it makes me think of the things certain people do to get jobs. They're asking for you to have a master's degree. You got your bachelor's degree, but you're gonna put, I got all the qualifications for this job on the job application. You know what I mean? Or you wear that certain thing that you know women like because you're gonna be in a room full of women speaking. So I'm gonna make sure I wear this to get that, you know, physical thing, as well as, you know what I mean? Or I know men like this certain perfume, or I know that men like the way my ass looks in this dress. So first day on the job or first day on the interview. I'm aware. So we do it all the time. Maybe not on that level, but we're doing things on a daily basis to
good.
get what we want out of the day, out of the job, out of the, relationship.
So we're saying, why judge this girl publicly for twerking on stage with Chris Brown when somebody else may be doing the same thing but behind closed doors in a corporate office?
For sure.
Everybody's just trying to get in where they can fit in using whatever gifts or talents they may have.
That's what I'm saying. But
all right, so what was your other side?
The other side was, hell nah. Like, because now I'm looking at it as a mother, a daughter, a fiance, a wife, a girlfriend, a sister, and I'm thinking like, man, where'd the morals go? Where'd the class go? Where did grandma sitting you down and that's maybe what was missing?
You know, that wasn't grandma on the stage.
Damn, because these days they all look the same. Listen, it's unfortunate, bro, that and I'm gonna take it here because I am a black man and I can't speak really for any other race. It's unfortunate to see my black sisters, my African American sisters, like, is degrading seems like such a harsh word, you know what I mean? But allowing themselves to flaunt, show off, just be so free with that type of ratchet activity. You know what I mean?
That, man, degrading, something that lowers a person's dignity, makes them feel humiliated, or causes them to lose respect. And I didn't say degrading because she may not feel humiliated. She may feel just fine. But then those younger girls, your little sister that's in the crowd, or your daughter that comes across that post on Instagram, they may be disappointed. And so that's the thing about it. We're talking about degrading, right? And you saying, oh, this person, if the definition of lowers a person's dignity, makes them feel humiliated, or causes them to lose respect. And I'm saying this as a former male exotic dancer. Yes. Just because you don't see it on somebody's face doesn't mean they're not struggling with it. That's good. I think that if you are listening to this podcast and you're wondering, like, no, I don't feel degraded, I don't feel like I'm devaluing myself. Let me ask you this. If there was a better way to do it, would you choose that over this? Because I think that's where you start to identify, am I doing this because I feel like I have to or because I want to? And those derive from two different places. One is a connect to your passions. The other one's a connect to survival. Yeah. Damn. And so devaluing yourself may look like, I'm willing to do this. I don't feel bad about it, but it's not really my preference. And that's how you know you're in that arena of, man, I got to do it. And that you telling yourself you got to do something, that impacts your nervous system more than you may realize. That's good. Gee whiz. So real quick, I don't want to go too far off topic, but real quick, would you say that doing things out of survival may not be the best first course of action? Listen, I think that sometimes that is the immediate reaction of the body because it's that or be eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's survive or expire. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And I think that some of the best people in mental health have said we have fight or flight for a reason. It becomes unhealthy when we're there for an extended amount of time. Right? You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm not trying to justify it morally. I think it's a system that lives inside of us for the purpose of preservation. But your systems, all of them, are only going to work as well as you're awakened to their purpose. Right. So as you begin to know who God is and why you were created and what your purpose is, you start to even utilize your systems differently. So when it comes to fight or flight and you find yourself in survival mode, but you're looking death or a threat in the face, but you know you standing on business of on your purpose. In that moment, you start to begin to think that this is bigger than survival. I'm willing to die for this. You know what I'm saying to you? Yep. Not every time you feel fight or flight, do you feel like I need to make sure I stay alive. Sometimes you're so connected to what your purpose is. It's bigger than you in that moment. Like you being an Army veteran. You know what I'm saying? You having a wife and children. Sometimes it's like, listen, I'm willing to die for them, even in this state of mind that I'm in, because I recognize it's bigger.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So what we got here in the chat, Rashonda said it's celebrated in society, and then the good girl are avoided like the plague. I think this is a good conversation. Mike, you brought it up. I think you brought it up the other day. We're talking about when you see these women out here, like, you know, dressed in a little bit of nothing and throwing their
Yeah.
bodies around,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that, you know, it's like half of society wants to come hard on the women for wearing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the other half of society wants to come hard on the men for looking and not being able to have self-control.
hmm
I don't really think I stand on either side of those. I believe that everybody's going through their process in life, and they're experimenting with things. And so in any given moment, I think it's what lives to be true more than who you say you are is who you're able to be in a moment. Because you might catch me when I've had enough sleep, I've had enough, you know, good conversation, I've had enough hugs, and I appear to you, I come across as a very solid, regulated person. But
Mhm.
if I'm having a lot of you know, hard times at work, I haven't really eaten that day, didn't get much sleep, temptation seems to have way more access.
Bro,
My etiquette is affected by my routine being off course. You
Yeah.
know, so I'm very slow to like try to judge people how they act in a given moment. This is why it's good to look at patterns. But I think that when it comes down to me personally, when I'm looking at, you know, what women wear, you know what I'm saying, or like you said, men, you know what I'm saying to you, the extra baby oil, the button down shirt, trying to get that attention. For me, I think I try to sit in a place of relatability before I go into judgment.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that there's something there that we want, and we feel like this is the only way to get it. And I don't think that judgment is the answer. Sometimes it's just education.
That's facts, bro. And it's great that you said that, because what if what it is they want, whether it's money, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's a job, what if this is what has been working for them? You know what I'm saying? This whole time, her shaking ass or whatever it is that she's doing, this is what's been working for her. So she's
let's
like,
talk-
man, yeah, let's do it.
What do you mean when you say working? How do we know it's working?
So it may be working because, listen, I want a certain amount of money by the end of the month. And every time I'm doing these things, every time I'm out here, every time I dress this way, every time I go to these type of parties, this is what I'm getting. So it's working. Could there be a better way to get it? Maybe, but this is working.
So
This
I
is
want to
easy,
challenge
even
that.
even easier.
I'm gonna challenge that and check me if you feel like I'm off. I don't think anybody wants money. I think money is a means to an end. People want money so money can get them something else. I don't think people really want the paper with the dollar amount on it. I think they want it so it can get them something else. So if you're making this money and still not able to access the type of life that you want, that's going to give you the feeling that you want, is it really working?
So I agree. The money is not maybe what people are looking for, but I don't think people are looking that deep. I think people are looking at the money. I
They're
think
not
people are
looking
looking.
that deep, but they're feeling that deep. They don't feel satisfied. I've been in the club. I made thousands of dollars, and I came home. I had the money. I could go to any country I wanted to. I could go put a down payment on anything I wanted. I
Yeah.
wasn't satisfied, and that's the question I had to ask myself. April 24, 2004. Is this really
Yeah.
working?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And I think that's a pause for the cause. You know, just everybody listening. Like, whatever you're doing, man, you putting in overtime at work. You know what I'm saying to you? You're trying not to be a problem in your marriage. So you don't have the hard conversations. You don't want to have any conflict. And you're saying this is what's making it work. You got to ask yourself, man, like if it's really working, it should feel. There's a feeling inside of you that registers as working. There's a feeling inside of you that lets you know this isn't working, no matter what you may be telling yourself. Like you said, people may not be looking that deep, but we are feelers and we're feeling it.
It's true. It's true.
So
What we got in the comments? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Comment right here. The world will reward what's loud.
Ooh,
What do you think about that?
I agree. I think that society is very driven by the wow factor, the oh that's different factor, or the throw it in your face type of situation, and unfortunately, that can go either negatively or positively. You know what I mean? Like this whole twerking era that I thought would die down in the early 2000s hasn't, because I feel like I feel like initially that was a wow factor. Like, oh, this is stuff you usually see. You got to pay money, get into the club, grab a bottle to be able to see. And now these women, the girl next door, the cute little quiet girl, is doing this for free for millions of people to see.
So check this out, man. There's so many things about this conversation I want to dip into, but let's start there, right?
Yeah.
So I've done some research and I'm following certain people online. I will say this: when you say that whatever is loudest in your world, that's what people go towards. You got to ask yourself, why is this my world? Because I'm on social media like other people, and I get a whole different feed than they do. So my world is not made up of the same thing their world is made up of, internal world, right? But check this out, Mike. As I'm looking at the people I am following, they're talking about twerking and where it originated. And we're looking at, the homeland, the motherland. We're looking at Africa. We're looking at different tribes where a lot of these dance moves came from. What's the difference between what they're doing in these tribes and what they're doing over here in the Western culture? They said that it's the intention behind it. It's out there.
Yes.
It's not a sexual
Exactly.
thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
Just
Yep.
like my friends who are from the Bahamas, my friends who are from Trinidad, when they go to Carnival, a lot of people in Western culture have an issue like, oh, it's like one big dancing orgy. And they're
Mhm.
like, dude, Westerners don't get it, bro. Like, it's not
Mhm.
sexual. And we teaching our children at a young age, because this is just dancing. A lot of people think it's therapeutic because stress is in your hips, or your body movement can just help you, like, get through, process certain thoughts and ideas and emotions. And a lot of people in the West aren't buying that. And so
Yeah.
the question is, man, what I'm saying, when you are doing these things, what is your intention? Are you hoping that when someone sees you doing that, they visualize themselves having sex with you? Because that's totally different
Oh,
than
for sure.
what's happening over in the tribes in Africa.
For sure. And what's so crazy, bro, is they to your point, there's twerking classes where it's all women and they're using it for workout purposes. So I do think that the intention behind doing it is a gigantic factor.
So what's a bigger deal, my intention or your perception? What should matter more in how I move through this world?
So for me, it's my intention, because I'm a heavy on, you know what I mean? If I'm doing something and I know why I'm doing it, whether you agree with it or not, it's probably going to get done regardless.
Okay. So this goes back to the conversation of the young lady dancing on stage, twerking on stage on Chris Brown. If her intention and her heart was pure, and we're talking about the culture saying, yo, no, what you're doing is not okay because it's affecting opportunities for the rest of us. How do we balance between what I believe, what the reason why I'm doing it, and how it's impacting other people? Like, where's my accountability, responsibility to how what I'm doing is impacting you?
I think it's a stretch to say that was pure. That was an interpretive dance. That was, I'm gonna make it look like
an audition.
porn. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how, but for the sake of conversation, I think that here's what I've noticed, even in my own life, somebody's always gonna have something to say. You could be outside mowing your grass, and because it's 90 degrees, I took my shirt off. I'm sweating, or I even maybe have a tank top on it, and I took it off. Oh, you doing too much. You thirst trapping. It's 95 degrees. I'm outside mowing you know what I'm saying? Somebody's always going to have something to say. So I'll be very cautious. I'll be very cautious about leaning on what others have to say to dictate the things that you do.
So I'm going to say this then. When the Bible talks about not causing your brother or sister to stumble, how does that play into what I choose to do, even if my intentions are good?
That's an interesting.
Isn't it though?
Because I've heard it all my life, and I feel like a lot of believers weaponize that scripture. You know what I mean? Again, I would say if my intent, let's use the mowing the grass, 95 degrees, I take my shirt off. If my intent is to draw attention, if my intent is to get my neighbors and the lady walking across the street to come and look at me so I can cause them to lust after me. If that's my intent, then I need to check myself. But if it's hot, at some point, that falling is a you problem.
So I'm gonna say when it comes to perception, when I ask the question of what's more important, my intention or your perception, I'm leaning towards my intention, because your perception is being trained all day based on what you follow on social media, what you consume through your ears and eyes, right? And so when Big J Square says my IG Explore page is full of Christian content and restaurants recommendations, you have to cater or curate what's in your world. I believe that a lot of times the reason we see other people the way we see them and end up judging them the way that we judge them has to do with the how we're being taught to see that behavior, how we're being taught to, you know what I'm saying to you. And so who's teaching me is up to me, because I get to control my social media feed, and I get to, whatever I'm contributing, the algorithm is reading that as what I'm interested in. And so if I have a warped perception and I'm quick to judge, I have to ask myself, who's teaching me to do this? Because a lot of times it's an echo of my news feed that I created.
So let me ask you this real quick. Sir. Even with the news feed that you said you have, so you've never ever come across any woman ever twerking on social media. So you've never seen it before.
You asking Big J that? Because that's what he said.
No, but you said it too. You said because of the things that you follow on social media, you don't get those kind of posts. You said that earlier in the conversation.
Oh, no. Hold on, bro. No, let's clean that up. I see it all. Now,
especially on that damn photographer page, nigga.
I'm gonna borrow Big J Square. I'm gonna borrow his social media. But and so I think, Mike, you ain't lying. Because I was doing photography for a while, and the kind of photography I was doing, that opened the door up for a lot of other things, because it's very suggestive with an agenda. So no, I see it all, but at the same time, what is the majority that I see?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Conspiracy theories,
workout stuff.
Only because you send me all that stuff. I don't want to see people working out. I see it every day. I'm tired of it. But the majority of my stuff is like mental health stuff, conspiracy theories, and haircuts, which is my guilty pleasure.
I can dig
it. But the photography page is a whole different thing, which is why I don't go into it too often. Yeah. Rashonda said, I built my algorithm brick by brick. Jesus, creativity, and pets. God bless you. Oh, man. All right, you guys. This is a good conversation. Let's move on to the next part of it, man. I think that really did warm us up. I want to get into, what time is it? 8:45. I think we got a few. So let's go ahead and dive into the topic for tonight. The topic of tonight is when to not break up. And so I want to start this conversation with a post instead of a video. All right.
Let's get it.
Let's start with this, Mike. This says, it's easy to give up when things are tough, but if you really care about someone, you'll fight for them even when it's hard. Here we go. One more time. It's easy to give up when things are tough, but if you really care about someone, you'll fight for them even when it's hard. Where do you stand on that, bro?
I mean, we've touched on this a little bit in a podcast in previous years. Like that, for me, that word fight, it always like is a little prick. Like, fight? I gotta fight to stay in it. Do I want to fight to be in anything, any relationship? Do I want to fight to be in our brotherhood? Do I want to fight to be here? Like, if I got to start fighting, that means in order to fight, there has to be an op and an adversary, right? So now, have you become my adversary, and I have to fight to, you know what I'm saying? It just don't seem like anything that I would be interested in. Even in my wife and I's relationship, when we were going through our rough patch, man, I and she may be able to attest to this. I don't feel like she ever felt like she needed to fight to be here. I feel like there was a lot of conversation that needed to be had, a lot of realizations that needed to be had, a lot of, other things, but I don't think that fight would ever be a word that we would use. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can respect that, man. My question is always like, if you tell me what we're fighting or who we're fighting, I think I'd be more willing. But if you don't know, and I think that that's the part that I struggle with inside of relationships in general, when your protocol for doing relationships, the ones you stand on 10 toes down, is really just an echo that you've heard from other people in other relationships, but you don't understand why it's a priority, why it's a red flag, why it's a non-negotiable. That troubles me,
Yeah.
because it
Come on,
troubles
man.
me because I'm going to partner with someone who has a mind that doesn't require understanding on things that they're willing to put their life on. Like, what kind of situations might you put me in? And I'm not asking you to be able to explain it to the T, but at least having said, yeah, I get the gist of it, and that's why I stand on it. Versus like, no, that's just the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's scary for my heart.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I do 1000%. And then as you're speaking, I'm sitting here thinking like, we know if this is somewhere relationship wise, we usually know if this is somewhere we want to be. Like, yeah, something messed up happened in a relationship, but when all is said and done, I know if this is somewhere I want to be or if it's somewhere I don't. So make that decision. You know what I'm saying? I think that the fighting part comes in when bro, when you know this is not where you're supposed to be. So now I'm fighting, trying to stay in it.
So let's talk about that for a second. So wait, before I go into that, Zeta said, I don't think you should have to fight for a person, but if you really love them, you should be able to weather the storm together. I like the twist in the language already. But also weathering the storm is about putting forth a lot of effort. And I think that the people could be saying the same thing. But here's what I want to say about the topic. When they say, if you really care about somebody, fight for them. I think that this, in my experience, my own personal experience in relationships and coaching people, I think where this desire for someone to fight for you comes from is how you grew up understanding how to verify love.
Solid.
When you say fight for this, I think that what's happening is that your introduction to understanding what love and relationship and partnership is was saturated with whatever you call fighting. And so you say that until I see you fighting, I won't think that you love me. I'm not saying fighting has to be you raising your voice, you putting your hands on me, you not eating, you staying in a conversation for 3 days straight. But you need to ask someone, when they say fight for me, what does that look like for you? Because I think they're trying to verify that you really love them, and that's the closest reference they can pull from.
That's solid, man. That's solid. I think my experience and the reason why that fighting always kind of rubs me the wrong way is because I did a lot of fighting in my marriage to my son's mom, but it was fighting, like I said, it was fighting to knowing that I should probably not be here, but fighting to try to stay here, fighting because everybody else is expecting this relationship to fail, fighting because my friends and my mom told me that this wasn't the right person. So I'm gonna fight to prove them wrong, or fighting, to save face, or, all of these things, all these reasons why people stay in these relationships. I only fight for these relationships that you know that you shouldn't be in. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have a disagreement. It's one thing to have something messed up happen in a relationship. I still don't feel like you need to fight to be there.
So how Big J Square said, how do you define fighting? So I looked it up. So in a relationship, fight for me is a plea for commitment, effort, and resilience. It means one partner is asking the other to actively work through hard times, prioritize the relationship, and demonstrate through concrete actions rather than just words that they are willing to preserve the bond.
But that still goes back to what you said. They're still defining it through their lens, because for them, you may need to tell me I love you every day. You need to show up and do all of these grandiose things with your actions to show me that you love me. But this other guy, he may be thinking, well, when I saw my mom and dad, it seemed like it was enough for him to tell her I love you, smack her in the butt, and go about the week. and they were fine. You know what I'm saying? So people are still defining fighting through their own lens.
So let me ask you a question. How did you verify that your wife loves you?
I do believe that it's action based, but I also believe that the amount of going above and beyond, the amount of care she takes, the amount of not just listening to things I say, but listening and implementing certain things that she does, is like, oh, okay, you're not just listening to me talk. You're trying to get to know me so you can figure out if you can possibly make my life better. You know what I'm saying? Things that
Okay.
most people don't do.
Let me double down on that question. When you may have been in a rough patch in your marriage, how then in those moments do you verify that your wife loves you?
The willingness to understand.
What does that look like practically? Or what is she doing? What does willingness look like?
Conversations, not just going with your normal, oh, you did XYZ, so I'm out type of situation. Like conversation. Why did you do this? Where did this stem from? And just digging deeper instead of taking surface level actions as, okay, well, you don't love me. You can't possibly love me because you did this. It's impossible. I can't be with you because you're this type. You're just going with that label of you're this type of person. You're a liar. You're this. You're that. You know what I mean?
So
Actually,
you're
trying to
saying
yeah.
when times are hard, you verify that your wife loves you by her commitment to stay curious instead of to rely on assumptions.
I think that's part of it. Yes, and
What's the
and
other part?
to maintain her commitment to the relationship in spite of if I'm dropping the ball on my side of the commitment.
By doing what though? What is she doing?
One is just being present, still being around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Two is the when certain things happen in relationships, I'm not saying that you pretend that it didn't happen or you pretend that it didn't bother you, but
Yeah.
I think that again, the willingness to, you know what, it is messed up that XYZ happened, but
Yeah.
I think it's a lot in that but.
So here's what I'm hearing, bro, because I'm seeing it online, right? Ferguson Mars said, fight, putting up the effort to get the person to agree to be in a relationship, right? And then Zeta says, I'm not going to fight to make you stay, but I'm willing to try to work things out. I don't think it should feel like a fight. What I'm hearing is that there's a difference between fighting for the relationship and fighting to make me stay in the relationship.
Fighting for the relationship and fighting to make me stay in the relationship. Do you think that one or the other is better?
So what I just heard from you is like when you might be in a hard space and you're dropping the ball, you verify that your partner loves you by her commitment is to stay playing her position. Just keep doing what you're doing. And in some people's eyes, through their perspective, they may call that fighting for. Like instead of mirroring or reciprocating what you might be doing in that moment, I'm continuing to be present and play my position. For some people, that may be what they call fighting. That's why I said when someone says, I need someone to fight for me, asking them, what does that look like for you? Like I just asked you. So what do you think when
I
your
don't- I
wife
don't
is,
bu-
when your marriage is in a hard, what?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say when your marriage, or not even your marriage, when you maybe you're having a rough season, you and your wife having a rough season, how do you think she verifies that you love her?
Continue to do the things that I said that I committed to do. Continue to having that open, honest communication, being transparent with certain things. Yeah, like I feel like for our particular relationship, communication is maybe the number one, possibly number two thing that has kept us on the trajectory that we've been on. So I think that's where she would base it. But again, I would never, and I can use that word, I would never ask anyone to fight for the relationship. Because look, here's the thing: you don't got to be here, so you don't got to fight. If it's at any time, and my wife knows this too. At any time, if you feel like it's too much, you done you want to bow out gracefully. We ain't got to fight. Yeah, you want to be with me, I want to be with you, but we ain't got to fight.
I think bowing out gracefully it has a preventative component to it that keeps you guys from resenting each other, right?
That's good.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, and this is something that's been true for me, that it kind of hurts my heart, but at the same time, I recognize it to be true, based on previous experiences of my own, that people have often liked me, but can't really handle the calling on my life or the life that I've been called to live. And I think for me, it's challenging because I know, Mike, you see the life that I live and you understand the calling. You know that it's a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot for me. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires, you know what I'm saying, to be locked in more often than most people are. And for me to be looking for a partner, they got to like more than me. They have to want to carry the load of this life that I've been called to, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's something that people don't often take a look at. You think you and this person have great chemistry. You think you and this person are really attracted to each other. But when you look at what that person's carrying and what you're carrying, do they want the load as well?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that's sometimes unfortunate because some people, you know, they like it because it's pretty on the outside and it's nice and you know it makes me feel good. But then when it's time to get in the trenches, it's like, oh, I got to do that too. I can't just enjoy the pretty part. I got to do the ugly parts too, or the manual labor too. Nah, you want the beautiful house, but you don't want to do what it takes to build it. You don't want to get your hands dirty.
It's like, do you want some responsibility for the thing that you love? Right?
Yeah.
Because the thing that you love doesn't just wake up and is like that. You know, I love the song, but we don't just wake up like this, man. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
That thing that you love and that thing that you like, it takes a lot. It takes a very specific environment that is created because of a lot of effort. And so you're saying you want to be in the room and in the garden and in that place without any responsibility for maintaining it. And I think that some people are willing to try, but like you said earlier, man, when you recognize that, I'm not built for this. That's a hard pill to swallow when you are really interested in someone or interested in a job or interested in anything you're trying to pursue in life, to have to sit with a sobering moment of this is more than I can handle and I really want it. Do you go back to the drawing board to try to get better at it, or do you just sit with the fact that I just wasn't built for that and just let life lead you to the next opportunity that you are built for?
I feel like that's an individual soul searching moment, and it has to be a moment of honesty because sometimes we allow so many outside things to influence that specific decision. Like, people telling me that my boyfriend or my girlfriend we should have been married by now, and it's been 6 years, and they telling me like I should get out of here. She's never gonna say yes, or he's never gonna pop the question. But listen, at some point you got to say, if this is the person I want, I'm a hunker down and I'm a stick with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a moment, a very sobering moment that I feel like people should have in those type of situations that I feel like they don't. It's such a quick decision. It's like, oh man.
Listen, after today's conversation, I think everybody's going to be asking that question. I like you, but do I like what comes with you? I love you, but am I equipped to handle what comes with you, what you've been called to in this life?
Yeah. Solid.
And I think if you really love someone, you would not let it's a rough word, but inadequacies be the reason they don't reach their full potential.
Unpack that a little bit.
Inadequacies could be for the lack of preparation on your side, or the fact that you're just not built for it. And I think that people may have an issue with the word inadequacy, but when I go into job interviews, what are your strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah.
For a person to tell me they ain't got no weaknesses, I just immediately feel like I'm being manipulated. There's certain places
That's
where,
fact.
you know what I'm saying? I'm as I am applying for the role of CEO. What are your
Yeah.
strengths and weaknesses as it relates to this role? No weaknesses, all strengths.
Damn.
Okay.
That's
Because
that's
you
a
can lie your way into the position and then destroy everything because you weren't honest.
yeah. I agree.
What are you
I got
before we move on to the next topic, Mike? What are one of your inadequacies? Just so people can get a view of what it may look like.
I think for me, my biggest inadequacy, which is one that I struggle with since childhood, is still portraying, if you will, that I have things all figured out. You know what I mean? Or portraying as, you know, I have it all together so people won't see the sides that I don't have together. You know what I mean? So wearing, like we've talked about before, wearing that mask, you know what I mean, is still been difficult for me to completely take off.
Got you. Inadequacy, by definition, the state of being insufficient, not good enough, or failing to meet expectations. That's a hard pill to swallow for someone who has very specific insecurities around identity. But for someone who's pretty solid on who they are, they can take that as, I understand it.
Mhm.
My inadequacy, one of my biggest ones, my social tank is smaller than I like for it to be. My ability to be in social settings and be bright and cheery and engaging, I struggle sometimes with thinking that it's going to be enough for my calling, which is why I work at it. This goes back to the preparation component. Your wife told me at the beginning of this year, get yourself ready because you're going to be called to more social things. And as much as you identify with being an introvert, your calling is asking you to expand your capacity. And so I was giving myself the opportunity to start working on that and to train that. And so it is an inadequacy still, but not as much as it used to be because I recognized it was something that I needed to strengthen to be in the role that I wanted to be in. And I think that sometimes people can adopt that mindset as it pertains to the person you want to be with, the marriage you want to be in. There's a load that you may have to carry. So it might be a good time to start working on your patience and your tolerance, your compassion, your regulation, your ability to identify how you really feel and give language to it without spazzing out or getting angry. Like it may be in your best interest to start developing the skills that are going to be required from that position for that opportunity and that season that you get to enjoy it to be healthy.
That's good, man. That's solid.
Oh boy. All right, you got anything in the chat over there?
Let's see.
Sindria says, nothing worth having comes easy in life. You have to work at some point for the finer things in life. Basically, anything worth having is worth working for. Sheesh.
So we had a viewer, right? So we had a viewer, and this is going to be funny. It's somewhat of an inside joke, but we had a viewer on the Instagram page say we need to go on TikTok.
Damn it.
God damn it.
We got to get on there.
Yeah, the TikTok.
So check this out. Somebody said, what if the greatest act of love isn't fighting for someone, but refusing to let your unresolved wounds become their responsibility? Can someone genuinely love you and still choose to leave because staying will require betraying themselves? Are you asking someone to understand you, or are you asking them to validate a belief you've never questioned? Do you want someone to fight for you, or do you want someone to make you feel chosen? Are those the same thing?
That's good. That's good food for thought. That's good. I like that a lot.
Good.
I like that a lot.
I think that's going to lead us into the next part of this conversation, because this lady is kind of helping people identify just that. So if we're talking about, if you guys are joining us just now halfway through the show, we talked about it's easy to give up when things are tough, but if you really care about someone, you'll fight for them even when it's hard. That's the conversation we just had that leads us into this right here.
Guys, when do you cut a woman off? listen to my words on this, and if you need help breaking toxic patterns, my link is in my bio. You cut women off in these certain situations. Number one, she doesn't see your value. You're pouring everything into her, she pours nothing into you. Love's not being reciprocated, energy's not being reciprocated. That's number one. Two, toxic energy. She's being toxic, she's doing hot and cold, she's giving you inconsistent behavior. Cut it off. Not worth it. Trust me. Number three, someone's not working on the things that you have requested. You have overly expressed what you need to feel loved, to feel desired. And little things, you don't even see them putting energy and effort towards them. Cut them off. It's not worth your time or energy. Number four, somebody who brings your vibe down. Energy suckers. You don't feel good around them. That's somebody to cut off ASAP. Your energy's precious and everything aligns with what you have coming in. So if the people around you are not good people, they don't have good intentions, their energy is low vibration, time to cut it off. It's an anchor on you. And number five, you cut people off that are disrespectful to you. You give them one chance, and you say, I'm not tolerating this. So when you in your head say, I told them that I'm no longer tolerating this, they have one chance. As soon as they disrespect you again, and I'm saying cheating, lying, manipulating, whatever, you cut them off, because you are validating your self-worth when you walk away and proving to them that you have self-worth, you have boundaries, and you have standards, and you're not tolerating BS.
All right. So I think I got all five. This is saying if tonight's episode is when to not break up, this lady is telling us when to break up. And so she said, when they don't see your value, when toxic energy is exhibited, when they're not working on the things you requested, when they're energy suckers, being taking your vibe down, or when they're disrespectful. How you feel about this list?
I love that list, and I
Bruh.
also love the off. Cut them off, cut them off, and I'm all for it. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy, and it's so crazy. I man, yeah. I think that's a solid list, and I was listening with scrutiny, but that's good, man.
Listen, John is on Instagram. He said, sounds like she describing my ex-wife. Just saying.
God, like seriously though, even with me, and she's described me in certain seasons of my life, and she's described certain women that I've dealt with in certain seasons of my life, and it's just like, damn, because I think it's so important to ask yourself, have I been doing the things on that list first before I look at any exes that I've been with? Have I been that person doing this? Because I know I have. You know what I'm saying? But then I could also see where people have done it to me, and it sounds like, bro, that this can be put in a box, and we can label that box boundaries. For all five of these things, we can label that box boundaries, because that's what.
Let me ask you a question then. If we're labeling the box boundaries, where does love come into play? When people say love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't keep a record of wrong, is that stuff that happens in marriage, or is this a boundary box for dating, not marriage?
Nah, I would say that boundary box comes in before marriage, because I think that when you get married, you have certain exigent circumstances that you may give a little bit more time, consideration, care to than I would. Like, we've been dating for 6 months, and you want me to go ahead and be okay with disrespect, or you want me to go ahead and be okay with you habitually stepping over the line of my boundaries. Like, come on, you're not considering me at that point.
So let's go to a place of accountability, right? We've often talked about marital vows, wedding day vows on this podcast, right? And so when you're thinking about this boundary box, how do you incorporate that into your vows when you talk about, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm willing to stay committed to you, and this marriage will work, not for better or for worse, as long as you see my value, as long as you don't bring toxic energy into this marriage, as long as you work on the things I asked you to work on, as long as you don't bring the vibe down, as long as you're not disrespectful.
I think it's, I mean, like we say all the time, that's why it's so important it's cool to repeat what the guy that's marrying you got. What is he called? Pastor? What's the guy the actual name for the officiant? Yeah, it's cool to repeat after the officiant if he's saying all the things that you actually agree with. If not, do like me and my wife did and write your own. You know what I mean? It's okay to not agree with some of those traditional vows. It's okay to say, nah, we not doing ours like that. We want to curate our vows to the things that we have both discussed and we have both talked about and we both agree upon. And I say that's probably the best way to do it anyway, because a lot of people find themselves, in situations because they didn't said these vows and one person is holding them to what they said. And they're like, wait, but I didn't, but that's what you agreed to, brother.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you make a vow, people have the right to hold you to it. And so make the vow in consideration of your boundaries. But it don't sound, the thing about it that it don't sound romantic when I include my boundaries in my vow.
Fuck all that, bro. We talking about the person. We listen, bro. We talking about the person that I may be with for the rest of my life. Romantic, we can get to that shit later. We got to talk about what's going to keep us together or break us apart.
And when you are honest, I think honesty really is a bonding agent that really does open up the floodgates for real love to enter the room.
Say that. Said
it. Golly, that's good.
Yeah, clip that.
Whoo, buddy. We got Zeta said, if they don't value you, they will treat you any type of way. How can they respect you if they don't see value in you? And I like that. My mom always told me that only what you allow will continue. So people only doing what we're allowing them to do. That's not just for your spouse. That's for your boss too. I was saying.
Yeah.
John said, I think the better or worse is referring to outside circumstances, job loss, sickness, other situations like that, not how we treat each other.
But again, that's
the bold print.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what John is interpreting it as. But that person that John potentially may marry or anybody may marry, we can't just have our own interpretations of things minus conversation. Because somebody, the person that I married may be thinking that, no, you said better or worse. That means whatever it may be. So just because I'm talking to you crazy and just because I'm calling you out your name and just because I might hit you when I get mad, you told me it was for better or for worse. So just because it's worse right now, you can't leave. That's how other people may interpret it. So I agree with John, but I think that conversation needs to be had before that vow day.
So I'm going back to what Dion Avery Garrett says. Said 1 Corinthians 13, right, 4-8. That's where love is patient, love is kind. I think that even with that, even though it's true, you got to be honest with yourself about if that's where you are with love.
Yeah.
Because yes, that's what love is, but is that the kind of love you carrying? Because if your love is any different, I think you owe it to that person to be honest. Like, yeah, I know the Bible says that love, let me pick one here. Love keeps no record of wrong, is not easily angered. But let me tell you what I'm working on. Yeah. My tolerance and my patience haven't really got me to the place where all the petty is out of me. Would you still love me as I work on this?
That's good. And what just came to me, bro? Those definitions of love also work for love for yourself. So I'm not gonna stick around in an abusive relationship because I love myself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are using these love words to stay in these relationships, but yeah, I love me too.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So, wow. So that made me think, are we looking for someone to love us the way that we love us or someone to love us better than we love ourselves?
That's good, man. That's good, boy. Man.
Boy.
Clip that. That's really good. And that's a good. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. I don't think that I'm looking for anyone to love me better than me. I think that I'm looking, or I would like for some to show me maybe a way I didn't love myself before, and they're like, oh, damn. Showing me something new, maybe a new way to love myself, or maybe loving myself a different way, or even let's use our relationship. you do things for yourself that I wouldn't normally do. Even let's just go with self-care. I don't do massages. I don't do the other things that you do for self-care. But being around you has shown me like, oh, that is a part of love. Maybe I need to start loving up on myself, like that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily looking for my brother to love me better than me, but showing me other ways maybe I can love myself better.
I'm giving myself all the 5 love languages. I was showing y'all how to massage y'all ankles yesterday. Like, listen, this is your body loves this.
You were. I'm not gonna even hold you.
Listen, it's good work, man.
Yeah.
We had to shut up. I agree.
Pause on that too.
What? You're
The
welcome.
last statement you
I agree the conversation should be had so you're not assuming what other person thinks. Big J Square said, Tim Ross says it like this: when you get married, you're not marrying what you know, you're marrying what you don't know. Therapy, prayer, and keeping God in the middle has to really be a priority.
It does. Say that. Say
So
that.
check this out. But then Rashonda said back in 1 Corinthians 13, she said that's God's love. That's the perfect
Come on.
unconditional type of love. So I think we have to be honest about I'm not there yet. I think that we want to be somebody's knight in shining armor so bad
Yeah, man.
that we're willing to say, yeah, we lying in the interview.
Come on, man. Come on,
Just to
man.
get to roll. And if you love somebody, you know that your line in the interview is going to lead nowhere else than to a deep disappointment and possible heartbreak.
That's why it's important to be open and transparent with your partner. Like, look, this is what I need. This is the type of guy I am, or this is the type of woman I am. And these are the skeletons that I've been keeping in my closet for this long. And and give them that choice. Okay, you decide to stay, you decide to go.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. I love a person that can just be honest with you, even if it means they won't get what they want.
And that's it. So many people are scared of losing that thing that they're willing to cater to what they think the person wants instead of being honest with themselves and being honest with the other person.
But
and it ends up getting them. It ends up getting them exactly where they don't want to be, because they thought being honest would get me kicked out of the thing. But in all actuality, being honest is what was going to potentially keep you here.
Or it may reposition you as well, because your
it has the
honesty
potential
may
to.
expose the inadequacy that is necessary for the role.
But at least we know we were being honest, because eventually, bro, you can keep up the facade for so long, but eventually that thing is going to start showing its face, because that's who you really are.
And I think that's what it comes down to for me when it comes down to love. To love me is to want me to have what's best for me.
Yeah.
Even if you can't give it to me.
That's solid. Yeah, brother.
Even if you being repositioned is the only way I can get it, you're willing to do that. Because some people don't love me, they love the idea of us.
Yeah.
It ain't me you love, it's us. And us is only working as long as you're getting what you want. But as soon as I want something that you can't give,
you upset, you bother, you irritated. I don't think this is gonna work. You want to bounce. Like, damn, hold on, wait, what happened? I thought we was doing good, but because I go against because you meet me with a yes and I meet you with a no, all of a sudden you don't love. Nah, you don't. You can't love me because okay, well, shit.
Zeta says you shouldn't get married if you know you haven't shown a person who you truly are. And as much as I agree with that, I still have to say that works for people who've taken time to get to know themselves.
But she said, if you don't.
If you haven't shown the person you truly are. You think you are. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Premarital counseling will not only show you to your partner, it'll show you to yourself.
It'll put that mirror up right in your damn face. So here you go, my guy.
All right. So if we rewind real quick and just go back to the dating arena and we look at these same parameters when it comes to dating, because she was talking about that, when to break up, when to call something off. If you're dating somebody and you believe, even if you feel they don't see your value, and even if they believe they do, it rarely matters more how they see it. It always matters how you see it because you're the one interpreting. Your interpreter can be jacked up, but it doesn't matter. That's still the reality you have to live with. Somebody told me once, like your perspective is the only reality that you'll ever know, because that is honestly and sincerely how you see life. It's your perspective. So that is your reality. And I could be telling you, bro, that's not what's happening here. But as long as you see it that way, that is the reality you're going to respond to. And your emotions are going to be responding to the reality that your perspective is determining. But we said it earlier. What is informing your perspective? Either your childhood and what you're daily feeding yourself through social media, what's going into your ear gate and your eye gate. All those things are informing your perspective, and your perspective is informing your reality, and your emotions and your logic are responding to what you have defined as your reality. And if it's not cohesive with the people around you, there's going to be conflict and tension, and there's not going to be an opportunity for relationship and partnership because your realities are so vastly different.
Yes.
How can you part?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, you got anything in the chat?
Let's see.
If not, we can move on to this next video.
Let's get it.
So I'm happy we're at where we're at when we're talking about just this honesty thing. Ooh, that's good. Dion said, love does not look for its own interest and does not become provoked. The more we see it, the more we see 1 Corinthians as a standard. And I think that the honesty component lets me tell you how close I am to that standard and how far away I am. And then you get to determine for yourself if you want to be with someone that far away from patient and kind, that far away from keeping no record wrong. Like, then you get to determine that from a place of me being honest. I remember one girl that I decided to date. Before I took her on a date, I sent her a disclaimer. And I said, here's what you're looking at when you're considering dating someone like me. And I said, I want to take you on a date, but before you agree to it or disagree to it, just read these disclaimers. And she didn't like the idea that I sent the disclaimer because, like, dang, like, no, you're a good guy. Like, I know I am, but I also know I'm unique. And I also know that everybody's not necessarily built for how I am.
And they think they are, bro. They think that they see the podcast, they see the books being written, they see the workouts in the gym that you post, and they feel like, yeah, I would be a perfect fit.
See, the thing about it that people think they'll be a perfect fit for the paycheck, not for the work.
Come on, man. And that's
the job they apply for. And I need a job that pays 6 figures. No one's saying like, oh, I need a job that has 6-figure worth of responsibilities.
That's facts. Yeah. But should we? Is that what we should be using as our gauge for these men and these women that we're going after? You know what I'm saying? Because let's for the most part, most people are dating up. We're not dating down or going backwards. You know what I mean when I say dating up and not dating down?
Talk to me. You talking about settling?
Yes, we're looking to date people that with some type of either equality or something greater that, like, oh yeah, she, you know what I'm saying? So, you have to realize if we're going after the CEO of the company, or if we're going after the whatever it is, you got to realize that they didn't get where they are just by happenstance. You know what I mean? They had to put in their own work. So you have to realize that trying to attach yourself to somebody that's successful, somebody that is goal oriented, somebody that has a calling on their life, that type of attachment is going to take work on your part. And if like you just want to sit by and be a pretty princess, maybe just, don't apply.
It's less about what you want and more about, do you have what it takes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I know it's not funny to you, brother, but shit is crazy.
It's a wild game. You think he over here safe inside his marriage, whatever. All right. So let's get into this, man. We've been talking about honesty a lot tonight. So I want to touch on this, man. This is a long video. It's 1 minute and 42 seconds, but I think it's worth the listen.
My thing is that if you're my man, I'm going to trust that you ain't going to have me out here looking stupid. So when we got together, I was definitely down to find out everything that you did without me being emotional. Because I want you to know what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do. I want to find out what you need, because if I can't fulfill it, baby, I don't want you to waste your time. Because if there's something that you need that I can't fulfill, baby, go get that. But if I can fulfill what you need, I want to know what you need so I can do that. Because if I haven't done it before, baby, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to be the best at it.
Period.
But, exactly.
Yes.
So I want to know, but he doesn't ever want to know. My thing is, I want to be transparent. There's been plenty of times that I've opened the floor to discuss certain things. He's like, nope, never. You better not ever tell me about you being with anybody else. And my thing is, I want to know whoever you've been with. And it's not because I'm emotional about it. I'm just like, well, what you need. It's not about that woman. It's not about your past relationship. It's about you, because I want to be everything that I want to be your side piece, your boo, your wife, when you mad at me, what can I be on the side until we figure it out? I'm all of that.
Now I do got a question though, but like, what does the last woman got to do what he want you to be?
It's not her. It's what you experienced that you enjoyed with her. If it's the experience, what was it that had you attached? What did you enjoy? What did you like? What will you miss? Not from that woman, but what was that? And if there was something that she fulfilled, I don't want to be her. I'm not going to mimic her. I will never mimic nobody else. But if there was a certain something that made you feel safe, made you feel good, made you feel seen, made your voice feel heard, baby, let me know, because I'm going to be that times 12, but I'm already who I am. So you're going to feel good. But I also want to know what it is that you need. That's important to me.
Listen, whatever she's drinking in that cup, can she share that with every
The world.
Yo, wow. Damn, yeah, no, yeah. Solid.
Did she
Solid.
nail it?
Nah, solid, brother. Listen, I think what that takes to get there is an enormous amount of maturity. Because I've heard women say, just tell me what it is you want, or ask me about a previous relationship, or ask me about how and you tell them, and then I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. Oh, she was crazy. Or, you know what I mean? Or they start looking at you different, or they judge you for the things that you're telling. You asked me, and you weren't ready for the answer. So now we got problems in the relationship because you wasn't ready.
And people often struggle with this ready word, and I hear so many, and especially on my news feed, because it's about mindset and high performance and all that public speaking and getting married. It's like, are you really ready? I think that opportunity is going to show up when it shows up, ready or not, as my Fuji say.
Yeah.
I think that all you can really do is commit yourself to practicing. Right?
What does that look like?
I'm about to tell you, bro. I went to a conference last week, which is why I wasn't here on the podcast. I went to the biggest librarian conference. I think it was big. I was gonna say the world, but I'm not sure if I can verify it, but it was huge, right?
Tri-state area for sure.
For sure. And I had to do a 50-minute presentation. That's the amount of time they allotted for me to speak. And next week, I'm shooting 20 episodes of a TV show that we're going to try to be selling. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to speak at a retreat. These are big opportunities. Why am I not nervous? Why, when someone say, are you ready? I can say yes. Because for the last 6 years, every Sunday, I get to practice with my brother right here live. It's live, where I have to say things and come back and say, oops, didn't mean that. Why come on? I get to see how I talk when I have high energy, when I don't, when I've slept, when I haven't, when I have food, when I haven't. Practice. But you know what? You know that the key thing about practice, you got to feel, you have to have a safe place to practice. And it's crazy because most people don't think a live conversation is a safe place. Maybe not for you, but for me it is. Why? Because from pre-K to 8th grade, my mom had put me in speech meets. I've been on stages. I've been in front of some of the most critical people on purpose, because they were auditions. And so for me, this is the perfect space for me to practice because I need to be in an environment where I can face a degree of the fear that
Yeah.
might be holding me back, right? This is why when you see elite players like in basketball, they'll put themselves in extremely challenging situations. They'll put
Mhm.
a basketball player say, "Hey, I need two guys to guard me," because
Mhm.
that's how they want to
Mhm.
practice so that when they get in
Mhm.
the game, the actual work is easy.
Mm.
So for me, doing this stuff live makes when I get to have a script or when it's recorded and we can stop and take break, makes that super easy. And so
Yeah,
I
set it
say
up.
all this just for you guys to know that if you feel anxious about anything, any opportunity that may be coming your way, the best thing you can do is put yourself in a safe place to practice and not an easy place to practice. When I say safe, I just mean a place where you can collect the data afterwards and not be pushed beyond your limit while you're in it.
Mhm. Mhm. Dang, yeah, that a safe place to practice, bro. So
And I think that is oh, go ahead.
what if your person that you're dating or your partner or your husband, your wife is not that safe place, and you come across another person of the opposite sex who is that safe space?
I think that you first need to check in with yourself about why this place that I chose is not safe and
Mm,
see if it can be converted.
solid.
Can we remodel this relationship? I think we need two bathrooms.
Can you fight for me?
Oh God, here we go again. Ah, man.
Ah,
So
man, now that's good, bro.
going back to this wonderful woman. Said
Yeah,
Big J Squared that's dangerous. Yeah. It can be when you
yeah.
want something and you see it somewhere else already ready. But let me tell you like this: just because you see what you want doesn't mean that thing has your name on it.
Come
That's
on,
what you
man.
got to check. You got to check underneath the seat to make sure
You
that
have
that's
to.
your.
You have
That ain't.
to. You have
I don't
to.
care how good of a seat it looks like. Check
You
underneath and
have
see if
to.
your name is on it,
Because I could have somebody else's name on it, bro.
bro.
Oof. And the last thing you want to do is sit in somebody else's seat.
Listen, don't fall in love with
Especially
a seat filler. Just be patient.
ladies and gentlemen. Sheesh. All right.
Data
All
said
right.
if you tell a person the things that you like and need in order for a relationship to be healthy to you, and they tell you they can't do those things, you shouldn't be mad at them. No, you shouldn't. That's your time to decide if you want to stay and go without what you want or leave because they just told you they cannot give you what you need. I think the love that most of us have makes us say, well, do you think you could develop that skill? Especially if you find it hard to find someone that you're attracted to or compatible with, we immediately go to, do you have the potential for it? Speaking from experience.
But then when does that, and we can talk about it or not, when does that become settling though?
I think that settling is an emotional state more than a logical state. I think
Okay.
that you don't really know. I think you may feel like it's settling, but I think that that's something you have to identify once life is over.
I feel that. I feel that.
I think that until then, until the fat
you
lady
just don't
sings,
know. You just don't, because we hear so many stories of people saying, "Oh, well, you went after potential," but then that marriage or that union becomes the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? So you're right. You just don't know.
Bible says, "Do not despise humble beginnings," man.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Shoot.
things that start off rocky can end up building something incredible. And that's
Right.
why I think sometimes patience is important. I'm not saying delusion, but you have to have a conversation with yourself between delusion and patience. And
Listen.
yeah,
Yeah.
and settling and recognizing something that's worth an investment.
Yeah.
So when I look at this post and it said she wants to know it all, I think she said a lot of things that I feel. And some people struggle with why I want to know, you know what I'm saying, about your past relationships. And I learned not too long ago that culturally speaking, a lot of people do not want to talk about their past relationship. They think it's disrespectful. But I think my mindset is that if you come to a job interview and don't want to talk about your previous jobs, I'm suspicious.
That's
What you mean? We don't talk about that. I'm not asking to call in for a reference. I'm only asking for your side. So
yeah, bro. That's really good. And as you're sitting here talking, I'm like, have I done that? And I do it to Janae all the time about ex. Just today, like I was telling you, how my ex walked by, and then we sat down. This is my ex-wife walked past us as we're at this little food thing today, and then we sit down and I'm by myself because they're getting food, and we sit down at this table, and this younger chick sits down, and when I say she looks exactly like Denham's mom, I was talking to Janae about this girl. Once Janae got to the table, I was talking to this girl that's sitting at our table probably the entire time we were eating because it was just so uncanny. But I feel like those are the type of relations where you can have those type of conversations, sit and talk and tell this person how this makes you feel, even if it is about an ex, even if it is about a girl I used to smack back in the day. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I have that much freedom, it almost solidifies the bond, the relationship, the friendship that a lot of people kind of look over in relationships. You know what I mean? Because that's something I may talk to you about, but the fact that I could also talk to Janae about is even better. You know what I'm saying?
context purposes, you said you saw your ex-wife and you sat down with her.
No, two different women. This is two different women.
Listen,
My
you said it way
ex-wife.
too fast. It sounded like you was at a table with 3 different women, and your wife was just happening to be okay with it. I'm just not sure if that's who you married. Can you clarify what you're saying?
Nah. So Janae pointed out my ex-wife that walked past us. I didn't even see her. Janae seen her.
Oh, did she see
pointed
y'all?
her out. Yeah, Janae said she looked at both of us and just kept
Oh,
walking.
okay.
So, but that was the one thing. But then this other thing was when we sat down, a chick that looks like my son's mom came and sat down at the table, and I couldn't believe it. Like I was talking about her the entire time. Like I could not believe
You
it.
was talking about her or talking to her in Swahili? Which one?
For all my Ethiopian viewers, please do not allow this man to make you guys not watch the show again.
I'm just
Jeez.
asking questions the audience wants to ask.
That's
That's fair, bro. That's
Yeah.
fair. All right. That's enough of that one. Let's move on because we're talking about we have a lot of topics tonight, but they're all bleeding into each other. I want to go in this direction here. If this is the last thing that ties into our title for tonight, which is when to not break up. If we have time, I want to bring in one more conversation that can bleed into next week's conversation. But what do you think about this? Repair becomes easier when both people remember they are on the same side. Repair becomes easier when both people remember they are on the same side. I want to get your take on that because
Yeah.
we had the conversation earlier about I need you to fight for me. And we were wondering at what point am I fighting you for us? And now I have an op and you're the enemy and
Yeah.
all those kind of things. So do you agree with this post? Repair becomes easier when both people remember they're on the same side.
Partially, because I think that the ultimate demise could possibly come out of both people remembering they're on the same side, because we're on the same side, but you still chose to go and do this.
Golly.
So I think for me, I would say repair comes when both people realize they ain't got to be here. I bring that, me and Janae talk about that all the time. You don't got to be here. I don't got to be here. You have plenty of men who would take you at the drop of a dime. Same here. So the fact that we know we don't have to be, yeah, because not okay. So she, this nigga left.
Golly. Okay.
Disrespectful.
Yes,
See?
you are. Wow. Yeah, God. All right.
This
Go
guy.
ahead. Explain yourself, bro. What were you trying to say?
No. So what I'm saying is, that I think that the bigger thing is that us knowing that neither one of us have to be here, that means we all have a choice to leave. We all have a choice to leave at any moment. So let's treat it as such. I want to be here. You want to be here. So the least we can do is try to figure these things out and kind of and find a happy medium or find some boundaries that we may need to set. But I feel like just saying that, put it up one more time.
Get your whole life together today. Repair becomes easier when both people remember they are on the same side.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say, because a lot of people when they're in certain situations, they know they're on the same side. They just chose to do what they wanted to do in the moment. It's not like I forgot that you was my girl or my wife or my boyfriend or my husband. I didn't forget.
It can be challenging. So let me ask you this. How were you trained to interpret friendly fire in the military?
Oh. What do you mean by that? Interpret friendly fire?
From a civilian's perspective, friendly fire looks like someone who's on your team became your enemy.
Oh, yeah, no.
How were you trained to see it in the military?
Almost, and this is going to be the most watered down version, as an accident, even if that person dies. You know what I mean? Because you're in a high risk, high adrenaline situation, and shit happens. Oh, I thought you were coming around the corner and I shot. It was an accident. Or, we dropped these bombs. They said your location was here, but it was actually here. You know what I mean? It was an accident. So we're almost trained to look at it as, like I said, an accident.
So Rashonda, your military sister said laws of engagement, LOAC.
Yeah.
So
that it's potential that it'll happen.
Would it be wrong to implement that same philosophy in marriage, that as long as you wear the uniform, which is the ring, I'm going to consider that whatever you do wasn't intentionally meant to hurt me?
That is great. That is, and I feel like now with therapy, that's how I'm able to view things in our relationship. Much easier to talk about stuff, much easier to say, hey, you did this earlier. I'm sure you didn't mean to do it that way, but it still bothered me. And then we have a conversation about it. But so many people, it seems like, even from people I know, stories I've heard, people that have actually come and talked to me about, hey, my relationship it seems like so many people are still on defense within their own marriage.
Because they don't respect the uniform. They don't respect the ring. You know what I'm saying to you? And so as long as you keep that ring on, you're good. But if you take that ring off, retaliation is inevitable. I'm coming for you. Because I don't know who you are at this point. You done took the uniform off. And that was the thing that signified that you and me are one. We are one unit. We move as one force. And if something happens where you hurt me or offend me or injure me, I'm taking that as an accident, because there's no way in the world that we're fighting against each other. But I know things going to happen on the battlefield. Take the uniform off. It's hard to know who you are. So you got to die.
I like what we're trying to say, but we still have rules of engagement. So this is why these times where you sit down and talk to your partner and you discuss the rules of engagement. Hey, if for some reason I'm having a messed up day, I'm seeming irritable, I'm seeming like I'm upset with you, I'm seeming like all is lost, and you asking me what's wrong, and I'm just saying nothing. I'm saying, please don't take offense to it. Have these conversations before. Preventative measures, rules of engagement. This is how we gonna go about these things if they ever come up. Yeah, we don't ever argue. Yeah, this has never happened, but if it should ever.
Bruh, y'all gonna have me in the middle of a conversation. Like, stop pointing your gun at me. Put your gun down. Because at this point, if you shoot me, it's not an accident. I see you aiming at me. Put the gun down. Listen, I come in peace. I got on the uniform. Right. I got the ring on, man. Remember, it's us.
Right. And a lot of people may think like, man, nobody does all of that. Nobody, you know what I mean? That seems like a lot. Okay. It is. But how bad do you want to be here? And I feel like when people say marriage is hard, marriage is this, I feel like what they're saying is I'm too lazy to really do any real work to make to allow my marriage to flourish. Because some people may think that what I just said, coming up with these preventative measures and sitting down and talking with your partner, that's too much. I don't want to talk to her about all of that. I just want to fuck. I just want to make sure the sex is good and we make money together. Okay, if that's all you're looking for, cool. That's you. I don't know how long that'll last though, minus communication.
Yeah, man. All right.
Rashonda said, clip that.
Clip that. All right. Well, when we talk about non-marital relationships, meaning pre-marriage, dating, is repair something that we should be spending a lot of time talking about when it comes to the dating world, being that we sometimes being that we live in a culture where people, get offended so quick and quit so quick?
So I'll ask you a question, since I know that you're in the dating world. What exactly are you trying to repair? What has been broken to where now we need to repair it in the dating world?
I think that the most common thing that happens are little misunderstandings where you guys may like each other so much that you have started acting like you more than what you are, but you don't have the data or the actual bond to move in that space. And so you have these misunderstandings because you don't really know this person, but you're moving like you might be married, or you're moving like you might be, saying an item. And so somebody gets offended or gets hurt, and shit, we be like, oh shit, that just happens. Or is there a conversation about, no, we can fix this. We can fix this.
I think, bro, that's so interesting. I think the conversation should more be, we're not married. We just dating. Let's remember that so that this don't happen no more. Not necessarily let's fix this so we can continue doing the same shit that got us here.
So if you're saying we're just dating, I hear that in the brain, right? Left side of the brain. But in your emotions, like, we're just dating, but I am really into you. So it's almost like sometimes people are separating or ending a dating experience, and you're torn because your heart doesn't understand what your mind does. Your mind gets it, but your heart is like, what do I do with my data that I've collected?
Talk about it. I feel like when the heart starts to try to take over, I feel like it's a great time for communication. Hey, yo, so I know we're just dating, but I'm feeling like right now in these moments when we're together and we're having this great time, I'm feeling like more than just a dating thing. And I know like maybe it's not gonna feel like that all the time, but I just wanted to let you know, because in case you see me doing things outside of what we discussed previously, then you can hold me accountable. But people are not having those previous conversations. They're just jumping into dating. This guy seems amazing. Let's just go full force.
No, that's good, man. I like that. I think that comes back to what you said earlier in the podcast about just increasing your maturity, right? Which is really your ability to give language to feelings and your dedication to responsibility over pleasure.
Yeah.
If you were wondering what maturity was, right? Because it's the gradual growth of your logic and your emotions and their ability to be able to function in your lived world and engage with other people. So I need to be able to give language to what I'm feeling, because the relationships are going to require some understanding, and language is one of the biggest ways to convey what's going on in my inner world to people in my outer world. And then the other maturity component outside of the language part is, Jesus, what did we just say? Is it almost 10? It must be. My brain went to a whole different direction.
So look, while your brain is in a different, I just want to give a shout out to my brother's forearm. Clearly, he's been in the gym. You were doing something, and the camera forearm was going crazy. Shout out to the gym we go to, and the forearm going crazy. Yeah, there we go. Come on, bro. Don't be modest.
Hold on, man.
The vascularity, my guy. Yeah.
Treat.
All right. So maybe next time we go to the convention, to the bodybuilding convention, maybe you can pick up the.
That's Mike's last show. He's disrespectful. He tried to give me a compliment and then an inside insult, like an inside joke, but it's an inside insult.
I didn't want to let it get too far to your head, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm just trying to keep you even, bro. Just trying to keep you even. Anyway, moving on.
Ladies and gentlemen, live demonstration of friendly fire. And let me show you what a double agent looks like. Let me. I've been in deep cover since I met this nigga.
God, let me find out.
This nigga up.
Let me find
Oh
out.
man.
Oh,
just
bro.
a sneak peek into what next week might sound like. I don't even know, man. What is next week? Am I gonna be here? I need to give a heads up because I know that I'm shooting the TV show.
Oh my God! Look what your sister just said.
What? If
Nigga, we've been saying that all day, bruh. We've been saying that
if you will. Inside jokes are the foundation of the relationship, man.
Jesus. Wild work. Wild work.
All right, so check this out. Oh no, the podcast is at 8:00 at night. So no, we should be good. I should still be on here next week. So this is what I think we're gonna be talking about next week. Where is it at? Is it this one? No, this one right here. The problem with some women is they believe your leadership should bend to the will of their emotions.
Yikes.
And I think we're going to talk about that, but also the role emotions play in leadership in general. Because I think sometimes emotions get a bad rap.
They
And
do.
I think what's wrapped up in a lot of women's emotions is discernment, and you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I like that.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every podcast, we like to leave you guys with a resource. And the first resource we want to leave you with is our Cash App, because every month we have to pay $88 to stay online, and we done ran out of donation money. So if you
going into the pockets,
listen, we are already going into the brain to bring y'all some valuable stuff. If you learned anything tonight, if you were just happy to see us online tonight having a healthy conversation, even if you didn't learn nothing, if you enjoyed yourself, if you laughed once, we have to charge you for that. So you
Jesus.
No, for real though, you can just go to our Cash App, $ maybe this will help, and just donate to the cause. We've been on here every night for the last 6 years. I mean, every Sunday for the last 6 years, just trying to give you that relationship talk you can relate to. It's fun and it's insightful. So screenshot that if you know anybody who's just generous and just likes to give money away, send this to them and say drop $5-10 in there so these brothers can stay online, because we love what they're doing.
Or drop $500, $800. You know,
lock us in for the year.
If anybody needs our annual subscription fee and they just want to pay the annual fee, let us know.
12 times 88. I'll tell you right now.
That's it.
And at the end of every podcast, we do like to leave you guys with a resource. We're only available on Sundays. She said, put that up again. Hold on. Let me put it up again then. Boom. There you go. Screenshot that. We're only available on Sunday.
That was quick. Hold on, brother. You playing around with leave that thing. Go ahead and say what you're saying.
I can't do both at the same time. So I'm gonna let me know.
We good. We good. We good. We are good.
At the end of every podcast, we do like to leave you guys with a resource, and that resource is a suicide and crisis hotline, which is 988. Remember, you don't have to do these hard parts of life alone. This number has trained professionals who answer the phone, ready to walk with you through whatever it is you may be dealing with. If you need to vent or if you need to get connected to a resource, they are trained counselors ready to have those conversations with you or connect you to those resources. Even if it's not suicidal thoughts, if it's just a personal crisis, don't worry about verifying if it's serious enough. If you think it is, it is. Call the number and get the help you need. And as I always say, maybe you know somebody else who's going through something, but just because you care about them doesn't mean you know how to care for them. So maybe you call a number and say, hey, this person's struggling with an addiction. I want to get involved, but I know that I could probably make it worse. What's the best way to approach this? Call this number to also help you with that as well.
And it's not an age limit. If you're a teenager is going through, they just had a breakup, or if you just had a breakup, know somebody, don't think that anything is too small to want to talk about with somebody. A lot of times we just figure, oh, I'll get over it. You may, but what kind of damage that maybe you don't even know about is being caused? You know what I'm saying? I say reach out for even the smallest things. Hey, I'm feeling like I want to quit my job. I'm feeling like I'm not seen at work, whatever the case may be. Hit them up, man. These are like my brother said, these are trained professionals that talk to people about all these kind of things. Not just I want to slip my wrist. That's some of it, but a lot of it can be a lot less damaging though. So just call.
Just call, man. We have plenty of people on the show who already called. It's been helpful. With that being said, you praying us out, bro, or I got it?
Bro, how long is your prayer gonna be?
30 minutes.
Father, I just nah, go ahead, bro.
God, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for this rich conversation and those who participated. We know that everyone who did contribute, whether by text or by in the chat, helped to make this night life-changing for somebody who was listening in or those who may listen tomorrow. We thank you for the opportunity to steward this thing and the practice that it gives us in, being aware of our own emotions and giving language to it and being better communicators for the wives that we have and will have, for the children that we will have, for the rooms we will be called into to be an example. We just thank you for these places we get to practice opportunities that people have offended us, where we get to practice forgiveness. To keep our hearts pure, Father God. We thank you for those who are listening tonight. May they be blessed by it. May we all experience you in a way that's needed tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen and amen.
Man, until next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for showing up and participating.
Yes, sir. 2 Chainz.
Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me.
Come and talk to me. I really want to meet you, girl. I really want to know your name.
Maybe this will help.